Okay, well, my special little guest here. Fair, I'm going to talk to you about negative SEO. Since people were asking about how to fix it, this is going to give you a little break into it. It has many different levels, from a very high-end negative SEO attack to low levels. People often think it's just like, you turn GSA on, that's it, job done. Google itself is quite advanced compared to the past. If someone was going to do a negative SEO attack using GSA, it would generally work really well. That stopped working quite a few years ago, so unless someone is actually intelligent or smart at negative SEO attacking, it is probably not going to do you much harm as a whole. If you're dealing with advanced negative SEO attacks, it can prove quite complicated. For example, some people will, in extreme cases, pay people to hack your site. For example, it's quite a common practice in the insurance niche. Let's just say, for example purposes, your site or a client site, say, making 100,000 every month, and it's your niche, say they're ranking for insurance, that type of terms, then it's quite a common practice they'll pay hackers from basically anywhere in the world to hack your site. So if that's the case, you have basically different options to stop it. You've got to obviously pay someone with security or hacking knowledge to basically stop a hacker or hackers from breaking your site. That's a potential way you can do it. You could also, as well, if you can find out who's actually doing the attack, you could contact the hacker and say something like this: hey, so he's paying you $1,000, I'll pay you $1,500 if you'll stop hacking. Then the guy will probably say yes. You could potentially do it like that. That's a potential way you can get rid of negative SEO attacks. But there's basically many different ways you can do it. It can be simply someone discredits your brand. For example, let's just say your brand was called, just say brand car, for example, purposes, PLC, brand car PLC. If that was the image, they're always doing things like sucks, bad, terrible, shit, whatever, that sort of thing into it. If we were always doing things like that, guess suppose with that sort of link or brand attached to your site, you would have to then potentially get rid of it. You can do things like disallow it. You could outrank the sites which are ranking for your website or brand name. That's the potential ways you could do it. And with regards to the whole costs, people were asking me, so what exactly does it cost? It purely depends on the attack. If the attack is very low end, you could potentially fix it for someone for, say, argument's sake, say $100. If it's, for example, say a gigantic company like, say, Coca-Cola, if they were doing something very extreme, so say attack a major company like Coca-Cola, Apple, Microsoft, whatever, some sort of big company, it would potentially cost a lot more money. For example, in more extreme cases, it could be potentially, say, 50,000. It could be more, it could be less. But there's not really any limit to how much money it could potentially cost to clean up a negative SEO attack. If it's just a low-end one, you could potentially clean it up for, say, around $50 to $100 at sort of a cheap end. If it's a bigger thing, then it's not really any limit to how much it could cost. And if you are potentially against a hacker or a group of hackers for a negative SEO attack, then it will obviously cost more money. You might have to employ some sort of person that's experienced at dealing with hackers to fix things for you, or you might have to try and find a way to work out for a business or a group or a person who's potentially doing the attack or attacks on your website or your business alike. And that's basically just some of the basics for you. Anyway, if you want to ask me questions about it, you can do it. Anyway, I'll see you later.